Hey guys, welcome to Crypto Mining Insider. I have a real special treat today. Today I want to be demonstrating and testing with you the latest miner from Bitmain, the new KADENA KA3 miner. I actually just got this miner from Bitmain and it's beautiful. You can see it has almost the same form factor and look as you'd see with like a Bitcoin miner like the S19 miners does. You have a power supply on the side as well as the power cords would go there. You have an Ethernet and an SD port, I guess the card too, in case there's some hardware upgrades. Fans then in the front, and then there's fans on the back side. And it's basically just your standard Bitmain box that you would see normally shipped. So I kind of already jumped a step and I did the unboxing. I really couldn't wait. I actually seen a little bit of a dent on the box on the other side. I just wanted to make sure there was no issues with it. But I'm excited and I want to get this miner set up at my mining farm and let's see how well it does. But before I do, if you haven't already subscribed, please press down on that subscribe button. I really put a lot of hard work into my videos and you subscribing is what really motivates me. Let's get this miner started. I went ahead and prepped up a section for this miner in my mining farm. I've previously had some of the L3 pluses, but this is really a totally different level, I guess you could say. So this is the KADENA, the KA3 miner, and I've prepped up the two. I'm actually having a Nerdgearz power supply. So these are actually really cool because they're not too big, and yet I have a amp meter then too on there. But I'm gonna be plugging this in and we're gonna see how this miner works. So let me get these plugged in. One-handed, one. 2, and then I have my Ethernet, and then once it starts up it probably will just start mining, I guess, into their default address. So I'm gonna stay here. I just want to see how loud this thing gets because it's supposed to be like 80 decibels, which is pretty insane. But let me go over to my power strip here and just flip this breaker. Wow, it's game on right now. And I'm at 240 volts, 241 according to the power meter, and 84, oh boy. What the heck is, oh my gosh. I knew this was gonna be loud in here, but even with the foam boards, I thought it would kind of buffer a little bit, but it's still getting louder. Oh my gosh. I lost the tip on my sound meter, but you see it's like 90 decibels right by the back, by the fans. This is the intake side actually. Look at the back side. This is actually louder here, I think. Oh wow, it's breaking over 100 decibels at the back by the fans. So it's pretty loud. If I get a few feet away, it's down into the mid 80s, but it's pretty insane. I've let this miner run for a little while and just stabilize down, and I just want to get an accurate idea of the wattage it's using. It seems to be running a little bit better and more efficient now. So if I go to my official watt meter, yeah, it's just about almost 3,000 watts exactly. So saving an extra 150 watts over the spec seems to be pretty good, I think. Before I show you the web dashboard and how this miner has been performing, let me show you the miner specifications and give you a little bit of brief background about this miner. So I actually purchased this miner directly from Bitmain. And if I go to the Bitmain site, KDA Blake 2S algorithm, I see the KA3 miner. So here we have the KADENA, the KDA miner, the KA3. And before this miner had a formal price tag, there was a lot of speculation it was going to be selling for somewhere between $20,000 and $30,000. And when Bitmain came out and announced the price of it at only $5,300, it was unprecedented. It was an absolute game changer. And I think Goldshell probably shook when they seen this because previously Goldshell was making a fortune selling a lot of the bigger, even KD Lite and KD Max miners. And I think the KD Max was somewhere like $40,000 like a year or a year and a half ago. But obviously they've come down a lot because this miner is so much more powerful and so much more efficient. And when they went on sale, they sold out, boom, like in an instant. Within a couple of seconds, they were all sold out when they had their spot sale. And fortunately for me, though, I was actually invited by Bitmain to go attend their WDMS event in CANCUN. And attending this event gave me early priority access to the KA3 miner, which is why I actually have my hands on one today. And it's my understanding, too, that the people who attended the WDMS event and got the KA3 orders like myself, we actually got it before even the people of the spot sale. I could be wrong, but that's just what I've heard. What was great, too, about going to this event was I got exposure to a lot of other miners, including the K7, the hydro miners, and the biggest value I think I've gotten out of it was the friends and the networking I was able to do there. One of the wonderful opportunities, too, if you attended this event was you actually would have had your chance to purchase up to 3 of these miners at that price. And looking back now, I say, shoot, I kind of kick myself. I said I should have bought all 3. But at the time, KADENA price actually dropped. It was actually in the high 80s or low 90s, so it looked like it was a little bit more risky. And let's face it, one of these miners plus tariffs and shipping is expensive enough. Could you imagine doing 3 of them? Although the cost of these miners right now is actually 2 to 3 times this price. But I'm just grateful to have one of them. But I do have some friends who I know who actually just messaged me that they actually got multiple of them. So the specifications for this miner are 166 terahash at 3,154 watts, about 19.0 joules per terahash. Let's go see the dashboard. Here's the mining dashboard for the KA3 miner, and you can see it's actually overperforming at the time. It's 175 terahash. My average actually is saying 167. But the one thing I noticed is kind of a little weird or inconsistent. This miner is actually only showing me it's up for about 3 minutes and 51 seconds. I don't know if it did some restart in between because it's actually been up for over a day and a half. So I don't know what the deal is with that unless there was some reset. But maybe I'll see it on the pool in a little bit. But you have the real-time hash rate. It just gives you some information across the top. Mining temperatures, fan speed, everything is normal and green. So I'm assuming that's good. And scrolling down a little bit, you can see that I am currently using poolflare.net. And originally I started to do some pool mining. And I did that for over a day, and at about 12 midnight last night, I actually flipped it from doing pool mining over to doing solo mining. This miner has 3 ASIC boards in it, and each of these boards, let me actually zoom out a little bit. So you can see the 3 ASIC boards, what their number of chips, there's 92 chips on each board, a few hardware errors. And this is typical. I've seen this before with like the L3 plus miners. They'll typically run them at their limit frequency 640, but it gives me the hash rate about 55.7 terahash or 56.2 terahash, and the other one's 55.6 terahash per ASIC board here. And the inlet temperature is 41, and my outlet temperature, as you could see there, is about 50 degrees. So I think the temperature is holding okay right now. It's nice too because I can see the individual chips. It only tells me the chips and their numbering. It doesn't let me overclock and dial them. So I'm definitely hoping for some firmware upgrade where I can maybe tweak it down a little bit and maybe I can mitigate any of these hardware errors. But speed of it, everything else like that has been running great. And I've actually lowered the fan. So let's go take a peek and see how it's doing on the pool. So here I am at PoolFlare, and this is actually the same account I used to do pool mining, and then till about midnight last night, I switched over to doing solo mining. I was curious, could this catch blocks? So 108, it's showing me, let me just refresh it. 113, I guess, because I just refreshed the miner. But my average hash rate is about 165.87. So it's about half of a terahash lower than where it should be. It should be about 166. But maybe it's because I just reset it. You can see except it has 2 over the timeline. And scroll down to see my mining results. So wow, I actually have a lot of KADENA I've gotten in here. So I actually started this miner up, and it would have been on February 3rd at about 6 p.m. But within each hour of this, look at that, it got almost 1 KADENA within the first hour. Sometimes into, I guess, when I was tweaking it, it came down a little bit lower. But after that, it's been getting really great results, like 1.78, 1.8, 1 point this. You can see this is all the pool mining that I've been doing here. And then about last night, midnight on February 5th, I changed it over to doing solo mining. And within that first hour, I hit 3 blocks with it. And then the next hour is 1, 1, 1. You kind of get the idea. One of these times 2 in an hour, I got over 4 of them. So I'm getting some really great results out of this miner overall. Let's see if the hash rate adjustment is going to come up. 165. It's coming up a little bit, but it's going to take a few minutes. But some other important information too. You can see the rewards. I can scroll down here and look at all these rewards. 1, 1, 1, 1. These are all the solo mining rewards that you see. And then this is when I was doing pool mining. So, you know, whether you do pool or solo mining, that's completely up to you. There's kind of more risk with solo mining. However, too, with the frequency of the payouts and I guess the transactions with KADENA, there's a lot more blocks being generated a lot more often. So that's one of the advantages too about the KADENA network. It just has a much higher volume of transactions because it can perform that much better than some of the other coins like Ethereum can. This one, yeah, it even tells you too solo and tells you the height of it that it was doing on the miner. But my grand total too gives you some information on the payout. So payouts seems to be on this pool about every 12 hours. The first one was on February 3rd, and that was only a partial though too. And then it went to February 4th. I could see by 7 a.m. I got 19.65 KADENA for 12 hours. February 4th at 7 p.m. at night, 1900 hours, I got another 19.36. So this was really my pool mining results. And so that's really fantastic. That's basically almost 39 KADENA within a 24-hour period. In my first round of doing solo mining, look at that, 22.3. And that's really fantastic. And that's this area you could see right over here. And if I go over to other information, it tells me my overall payout. So since February 3rd at about 6 p.m., I've actually banked 62.166 KADENA, and then reward within the past 24 hours, 43.67 KADENA. I'm just totally blown away by this miner. I mean, I've had other miners before. I have friends maybe who had ASICs or had ASICs in their home, but to get an industrial ASIC like this running in my home, it's pretty insane given the payout of this miner. I still have to do a lot of work to try to see what I can do to mitigate that sound, but that's going to be for another video. I'm just happy to have something that's actually sitting there churning and printing out this money right now because I think KADENA is going to rise in the next bull. To get a picture of what this means in fiat value, that may mean so within the last 24 hours, I was doing 43.67 KADENA. So if I open up a calculator and I put in 43.67, and if I times it by the current price of KADENA, and it is February 5th of 2023, it's currently at $1.18. It's come down a little bit over the past couple of days, but it's up overall quite a bit for the year. But if I put in that times $1.18, 1.18, I'll have over $51 and about 53 cents a day. And I could actually sell and exchange this out for that right now. Not any hopium, not any this or wishful thinking. That is what is making in the current market right now. I subtract my electricity costs, figure $6 or $7. I'm still doing, you know, about mid $40, $45, $44 a day on this miner. But honestly, I do not plan to be selling my KADENA. I'm actually very bullish on the KADENA coin. I think technologically, it's a very superior coin in that it's actually not one chain, but it's multiple chains woven together. And it's what forms Chainweb. And that's what allows it to do a high volume of transactions very easily. And I think it's a very superior coin, just my own opinion. So please do your own research. Nothing I'm sharing with you is financial advice. But I plan to be holding it. I'm going to be bagging it and actually mining this out of pocket, paying for the electricity. Even though it can more than cover itself, what it's doing on the revenue right now, I'm pretty bullish on the KADENA coin itself. And if I want to get an idea of the all-time high on this coin, I'm looking at CoinGecko. So CoinGecko is telling me the all-time high on this coin was $27.64. So if I come in here and go 27.64 is the all-time high times we had 43.67 KADENA. So if it ever goes back to its all-time high, again, this is wishful thinking. This is being optimistic. This is not realistic numbers. But it would be making, wow, over $1,200 a day if it goes back to its all-time high. And that's when I see these numbers, I'm kind of optimistic. But it would really ROI on this miner within under a week. But honestly, too, we don't know what the future holds. Even if the coin goes up to half of its price, all-time high, that would be $600 a day. Now, a key factor to keep in mind, though, too, is that I'm not the only one who got this miner. So I have a bunch of friends who got a hold of this miner at the WDMS event too. I know there was the spot sale miners, and it probably won't be long before Bitmain ships out a bunch more of these miners too. So when more miners come on the when more miners come on the network, the hash rate is going to go up, the difficulty is going to rise, and the revenue is going to come down. So how long am I going to be able to sustain and hold this? I think that is the magic question everyone wants to know. So that about wraps it up for today, and I really enjoyed making this video and giving you my first-hand demonstration and experience with this new KA3 miner from Bitmain. And a big thumbs up to you, Bitmain. Thank you so much for inviting me to the WDMS, which allowed me to get access to this miner. I'm truly grateful. So what do you guys think? I'm really blown away by this miner, especially in the bear market, to have a miner that's making over $50 a day in total revenue. I'm only crossing my fingers and just hoping that too many of these miners weren't released, because it'll drive the difficulty up and the revenue down. And I'm psyched and happy to see these type of revenue numbers, and I hope they persist. What do you guys think of this miner? I'd love to know, so definitely drop a comment down below. And if you've enjoyed the video, please remember to give me a thumbs up, like, and don't forget to press down on that subscribe button. I really put a lot of hard work and effort into my video, and I hope it helps you. And you subscribing really means the world to me. So until next time, stay safe. I'll see you on the next video.